Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, please hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you can get notified whenever a new video is released on this channel. If you want to check out more tour videos, visit my Philadelphia Hoods playlist with over 200 plus tours covering all sections of Philadelphia, PA. All right, so right now we are at the John Heinz National Wildlife Refuge at Tinicum, located on the south end of Philadelphia, PA. This is a hiking trail. This is dedicated to the preservation of the Tinicum Marsh. This is a free resource that's located right by the outskirts of Philadelphia. So I figured it would be a beautiful day to take you guys out. It's sunny, there's many families here, a lot of people out here enjoying the environment. So let's go on this little hiking tour. I used to come here often, like every other weekend. I used to come hang out here. I used to bring a variety of friends. So we'll walk through it together, you know? Check it out. America's first urban refuge. Explore. It says, discover the refuge. John Heinz National Wildlife Refuge at Tinicum is a green oasis in urban Philadelphia. Just a short bike, train, or bus ride from downtown. Here you can discover the quiet beauty of the refuge as you walk or bike 10 miles of trails, or as you paddle over 5 miles along Darby Creek. Explore the Refuge Visitor Center to learn more and to help plan your visit. All right, so we're gonna turn. We're gonna make a right-hand turn. So I just want to show you guys what this little entrance looks like. Check it out. There goes the welcome sign. Welcome to your National Wildlife Refuge system. I'm gonna give you guys a tilt up shot so you can see the visitors entrance. John Heinz National Wildlife Refuge Visitor Center. Check that out. Now I'm not gonna take you guys in the visitor center, but I will walk you guys through here so you can get an idea of where the visitor center is located. We're just gonna go straight on the trail. Check it out, they got some cutouts there of children with binoculars, staring up at the sky. See, if you go inside this building, it has like a display for children. You can go in there. I believe there's a water fountain, a bathroom and whatnot. And there's an information center. We're gonna make a right and we're gonna go down this path. It's free to enter that building also. I just don't want to go in there because there's probably children and people with their families in there. I don't want to get them on camera. So periodically, as we're walking, or if you would ever come here, you would notice that there's information pallets that basically provide a great deal of information. For example, it talks about the food chain here. All food chains begin with the sun. In one example of a food chain, a green plant, like grass, takes and stores energy from the sun. A mouse then eats the grass seeds and in turn eaten by a black rat snake. Finally, a larger predator like the red-tailed hawk will feed on the snake. And that's how this little ecosystem over here works. I know when I've came here before, I've saw deers, I've saw tortoises. Hello. Hello. I saw tortoises. I saw a variety of wildlife animals when I come. It depends on the season. Right now it's the cold season, so we're probably not gonna see that many animals other than birds, but it's pretty cool. Also, make note that when you come in the summer season or in the spring season, it's usually a lot more. Let me see, take this left turn right here. We're gonna make this left turn. There's usually a lot more greenery. So right now you're gonna notice it looks like woods. All you see is just woods. You don't see much green lusciousness. But if you come in the summer, it's pretty green. Now I think I should have made a right turn down there, but because there's a pathway right here on my right hand side. But what's a wildlife exploration without taking shortcuts? So let's make this right hand turn right here. Check it out. It's like a little trail, so we can just walk. I'm gonna walk through like we're out here hiking. We're out here hiking. I don't know how many of you ever took a hiking trip before, But I always liked this spot because it's right in our backyard in Philadelphia. There's not many places in Philadelphia or around Philadelphia that are like filled with woods and whatnot. So this is the closest thing that we can get. And it being a free resource comes in handy because whenever you want to get some physical activity, you want to work out your cardio, you want to basically work on like your mental therapy. It's very therapeutic just to come out here and walk. Now, to my knowledge, as you saw in the information board, it's about a 10-mile strip. It has a couple turns, a couple detours, has a bridge, has a little cabin back here. But usually I take it probably maybe 4, 5, 6 miles. I take the roundabout. I don't think I've ever did the full 10. Yeah, I went pretty far in, but I've been here on pretty hot days, like 100-degree days, and it's like a sauna out here. So you would notice as we're walking, you'll see plenty of dog walkers. We might see an occasional cyclist cycling by. The pathway is pretty well defined. It's also state park security that drives through here with their vehicle. That's why it's wide enough for a vehicle. So they check up on it often to make sure nobody's back here doing any riffraff. We got a family approaching. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna turn the camera left so you guys can get an idea of what it looks like. They have little markers so you don't get lost. I pretty much know this place like the back of my hand. Like, I've been here an exaggerated amount of times. I've came with a lot of my friends. I brought them on different occasions. I came with like 2, 3 friends at once. I came with like 4 friends at once. I came with 1 friend at once. Yeah, it was a really cool experience. I've even came with a classroom or several classrooms of children here before. Yeah, I used to be the activities coordinator and I used to manage several plus classrooms, K through 6, 6 through 8th, and 9th through 12th, and even taught adults twice my age. And when I used to schedule trips here, I liked it because it was a free resource and the kids got a chance to get the closest thing that they might be able to get to a camping experience in the Philadelphia metropolitan area. Like I said, we don't really have that nearby. As many of you have seen from the Philadelphia Hood tours, it's mainly like a cement land, asphalt and cement everywhere. We don't really have many trees, ponds, lakes. So to get out here, you know, it's only about a 15-20 minute ride from North Philly, depending on traffic. It's right by the Philadelphia airport. So it's cool. I got some good memories. We'll talk about them when I pass spots. But it goes pretty far. You can actually, if you're into like really going through explorations, you can go through all the little grassy areas. We'll probably take a shortcut or two. Check it out. Pretty nice. One time I saw a giant tortoise. It had to be like 1.5 feet long. Saw a huge tortoise. And it was crossing the pathway. Let me point down so that you guys can see. It was like crossing like right here on the pathway and it was moving from that side to that side. I felt bad. I picked it up and I helped it cross the road. That thing was big though. I've seen a family of deers here. Check it out. Trash cans. Look at the signs. The signs say, oh, check it out. Now they got new signs with no cycling. Wow, I remember seeing people cycle here. So I guess they don't want anybody to cycle. It says, Refuge visitors are required to stay on designated trails. Wow, so they must have updated this because like I said, I'm an explorer, so I would explore and take shortcuts often. I'll tell you about one of the shortcuts that I've taken before. Now they also got the no fishing. No fishing. All right, I'm gonna make this left-hand turn. The noise you guys just heard was this female right here with her dog. Beautiful dog, furry little guy. It's probably a female, I'm not sure. But I think she was throwing away some trash. Oh, look at, I got the dog's attention. The dog said, what? You said I'm a beautiful female? I'm a male. That was funny. It's like the dog heard me talking about him. but this is actually right by the highway also. Hello. Yeah, I don't think she was very friendly. I gave her a nice hello. She was staring right at me. She was like looking into my soul. So I'm like, well, might as well say hello. You want to look at me? And she didn't say hello back. But it's okay. I'm completely fine with that. Oh, man. Wow, so how about the new signs that you cannot explore? Stay on the designated path. Access denied. Tune will explore. Yeah. Check it out. Yeah, if you come here in the summer, what? Everything's like full and lush and green. Green, 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 green. Right now, everything looks so empty and desolate. Show you guys some of the height on the trees. Check it out. See? You got the sun right here. I used to come here a lot with Walt too, my buddy who passed away. I have some footage on a VHS tape that we shot here, and it's when he was younger. We shot it here in this very area. Yeah, I got that footage. I archived some of it. I put it on my page when he passed away. I created like a rest in peace video. And there's some footage from in here from when we shot before, back in the day. Yeah, as you can see, people enjoying themselves.
To be able to somehow forward.
To be completely honest with you guys, this is probably the most packed that I've ever seen it. Next to the days I used to bring my youth here. Oh, check this out, Frog Pond Trail. So they added a couple new signs. You can tell because this 4x4 piece of wood with the sign is pretty new. Like if you look down the pole, that's a pretty new pole. And to be honest with you, I probably haven't been here in like 2.5 years, maybe. But when I did used to come, I used to come a lot. I would say probably from like 2009 to I think like maybe 16, 17. Yeah, so it's probably been like a little 3.5, maybe 4 years. But it's cool. Check it out, you got bird watchers too. You'll very often see bird watchers or photographers coming out and taking advantage of the sightseeing. Yeah, some people take the craft seriously. You can't do no hunting or none of that here. And as you can see, you can't do any fishing. You can do canoeing though. There's a little river trail on my far right hand side. I actually shot 2 music videos back here too, now that I think about it. I shot 2 music videos back here for 2 different clients. I can't believe now they got the signs saying that visitors must stay on the trail at all times. I just passed another one. That's a shame because it takes away the joy of hiking. Like, who wants to hike on a trail? I know I don't. I get joy of like going through the woods and like getting stuck on like thorns and, you know, climbing over logs and going under branches, and that's where the rush comes in at. That's where the fun's at. But some of the spots you gotta be careful, because if you go like back there, for example, there's a swamp. So you'll think that you're walking over like some like wet mud. You'll go down like 4 feet and fall right into the swamp. Wonder if they have problems with people recently like veering off, which is probably what made them enforce those signs. Because I never had to worry about that. Never had to worry about, you know, veering off. But I'll still do it, to be completely honest with you. Let's see if we can find a good spot. See if my shortcuts are still around here. I'll tell y'all about one of my shortcuts. A real funny situation. Oh, man. Feels good though. It's nice weather. Nice weather out. It's probably like a good 42 degrees. But when you walk, you actually warm up a little bit. Start to perspire and start sweating. Look at this. Really nice. It's peaceful too. I'm whispering. I could talk louder and I could pronunciate my voice and project it into the woods. But I'll probably scare off the birds. Yeah, that's pretty neat. There's a nice view too, like with the water. Watch, we're gonna pass it. It's like you can see the whole, I don't know if this is considered a lake or would it be considered, I guess it's a marsh, right? Because this is dedicated to the preservation of the Tinicum Marsh. So this is by, I believe, 84th and Lindbergh Avenue. So I think you can follow Lindbergh and go straight down to Southwest Philly. Yeah, I'm not gonna risk it again to say hi to somebody else and get played salty. But the other lady, I'm telling you, she was locking eyes with me and everything, but she didn't want to say absolutely nothing. Hello. You see? I'll say hello to people who say hello to me first. I'm not gonna sit there and play myself again like a fool. And this bench is periodically dropped everywhere. So look at right here. There's a bench. Remember that dog? What's up, buddy? That dog looks like Cujo. Remember 1981 Cujo, the movie? Cujo. He heard me real quick and he jumped. He turned his head around. So this was one of my shortcuts right here. So where we're about to go on a roundabout. So right in front of us, it's gonna like, we're gonna go forward, it's gonna make a right, and it's gonna come back down like a U. And after coming through here so much, I was like, man, that's like a little walk because it's pretty much still gonna lead us over here. So what I would do is I would go through this. Matter of fact, what's up? What's up? Y'all trying to go through this? But then y'all wouldn't really be able to see the actual tour. Man, I'm feeling kind of courageous. Yeah, because who wants to walk on a path? Come on. We are out here. We are out here, son. We out here. We're about to get kicked out. And we just got here. Ah, thorns. Ah! Ugh. Ouch, I just tripped. This is where it's at. This is where it's at. How can they stop you from doing this? Like, this is where it's fun. This is what makes the little walkthrough fun. Oh, boy. All right, let's see. Let's see if I don't get trapped. Bear with me, guys. We out here. Ouch. Somebody gonna call security on us. They're gonna be like, excuse me, guys, didn't you say that you weren't supposed to veer off of the path? And what am I doing? Veering off of the path, but I'm trying to show y'all that this was my shortcut. Okay, let's see. I see the path. I see it over there. I see it. I see it. Oh, man, this is so dense from the last time that I've been here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, right there, right there. I see it. I see it. Here we go. Here we go. Now, there's deer ticks back here, guys. There's deer ticks. There's poison ivy. We'll talk about poison ivy in a little bit. All right, I have to strategize how I'm going to get through here. I'm going to strategize, guys. Oh, boy. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're crawling. Oh, my scully. My scully's about to come off. There you go. I think that's why they don't want us to come through here, because I'm probably damaging wildlife. But I'm doing it for you guys on YouTube. As a YouTube fan, I'm too fat. Here we go, here we go, here we go. This is fun. This is too fun. This is fun. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. Ninja, we made it. Oh snap. I got stuck in some super duper strong vines. We're so close, but so far. I made it. Woo! Yo. Oh man. Now check it out, guys. That shortcut that I was talking about was over there. You see? And they basically went around that roundabout. But look it. Finally made it, you see? Woo! Yo, I got thorns on me. I got all types of sharp objects on me. Yo, hold on. Woo! That was fun. You see? That's what it's all about, guys. Going out and having some fun. Hold on, let me take these little thorns off me. Ouch! I had thorns on me, y'all. Look it. You see? That was fun, though. I told you I had a shortcut. That's cool, though. Y'all ain't missing nothing. Y'all missed probably like, you know, a couple yards worth of a roundabout. Check out this tree. You wanna see this really old tree? Look at it. Yeah, that's cool, right? I'm telling you, if you come here in the summer, you wouldn't be able to see through the grass as easily, or through the woods as easily, because everything would be full. And then there's also spiders and all types of crazy bugs here. Obviously, because it's the wildlife, right? It's the wildlife, so you're gonna see all types of crazy stuff. If you come through here, there's usually frogs. They'd be like, ribbit. He'd be like Kermit the Frog. He'd be there with his little cup of tea. Yeah. Woo! Y'all hear that? I'm out of breath. Man, I need to work out. I need to go to the gym. Get on my Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hasta la vista, baby. Woo! That was fun, though. I kind of had fun. I'm about to go take another shortcut. All right, U-turn. We about to go back. All right, so over here on my left-hand side, you actually have the train. I don't know if that's the Amtrak, but, you know, there's a roadway over there. And then on my right-hand side, you have a little spot where you can go off. It's like a little pond over there. They got yellow barriers, so I don't know if they just added those barriers for some apparent reason. Let me show you guys this little moss, in case anybody's intrigued by it. Go check it out. See how it grows naturally, even in the winter? Seen that? It grows even in the winter. Yeah. Yeah, so I used to create like curriculums and weekly lesson plans and manage, you know, several classrooms or whatnot. And this was part of when we used to host summer camp. I thought this was cool because, like I said, we live in the city and the kids don't get to see that often, especially they're only like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They don't really know what it's like to, you know, go camping. And I'll be completely honest with you, I didn't get a chance to experience much camping growing up either, other than like the Poconos. One time when I was a youngster, I went on a trip. So I felt like this was like, you know, pretty cool, a cool spot for them to go, quote unquote, camping, even though we wasn't sleeping out here. Yo, there was a bench right here. What happened to the bench? All right, so first things first, I'm gonna show you guys this. There's usually a bench right here, and that water, that tide is extra high. That tide is never right there. That tide is probably like, not to over exaggerate, 1 yard, 2 yard, 3, maybe 3.5, 4 yards back. And we can actually, normally we would like walk down there, and right here there was a bench. I wonder what happened to the bench. Is the bench there and it's just covered with liquid? But I guess this is the marsh. You see? Right now it's extra cold, so, you know, you're not really gonna see any type of movement, any type of activity. But yeah, check it out. And you can look as far as the eye can see. Look at that little landscape. You see that horizon line? That perfectly straight line? And all the way across over there, I don't know if you guys can see. And the center of the screen, you're gonna notice a double deck. It's like a porch with like a patio. We're gonna be walking all the way around there. So when we go around this whole trail, we'll end up all the way across this half, and we'll be able to stand on that double decker patio deck and show you what it looks like from that half. But until then, we gotta walk all of this. We gotta do a whole lot of walking, guys. Over here, we got a little highway. It's a highway, so you see some civilization. Oh, there's a bench right here. It looks like this one is actually farther back. Check it out. The bench that was over there was something like this, but it was a lot closer. Unless this is the bench and they like bumped it up because of that. I don't know, would that be considered a tide? That's not a tide because this isn't the ocean. But yeah, you're usually able to like walk down there a little bit more. Pretty cool though. A little spot where you can just chill and relax and all that stuff. Oh, check this out. There's like little bird houses over here, right here on the swampland. You see it? There's a bird house right there, and there's a bird house right here on my left-hand side. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like this little teeny weeny birds can go over there and, you know, have a little room and board to stay rent-free. Look at those things. Those things look like hot dogs. Like hot dogs. You see them? They look like corn on a cob. See it right there? I don't know what that is, but it looks straight up like a hot dog or like a corn dog, right? It looks straight up like a corn dog. I haven't had a corn dog in forever. In like a decade or more. Yeah, look at that. That's all swamp. You definitely don't want to walk into that. No siree. Alright, so let's get... Oh, almost tripped and landed face first. Yo, I'm telling you, this gimbal be downplaying the extensiveness of my trips and my slips. You hear a dramatic sound effect, but you don't see much of a dramatic movement. I guess that's because the gimbal's doing its job, right? Yeah, see, it's a cool trail for people to come socialize. We had two gentlemen walk past us. They were socializing. We got two people in front of us. Looks like a couple. They're socializing. It's a good trail to socialize. And even if you come by yourself, as you can see, there's older people who come here and they walk by themselves. Look at these things. Yeah, they're all furry, you see them? Not only that, ouch, I just got a thorn stuck in my skin. Look at it. It's thorns. See, there's thorns everywhere. Look at that. Yeah, I just literally got poked. It got stuck to my skin, and when I pulled my hand back, it poked me. See over there, you got the Amtraks. Oh, yeah, it's the SEPTA Amtrak right there. Look at it. See it right there? So although this is the wildlife, it's still very close to urban life. Let's look down at the path that we just walked. You see, that's the path that we just walked. See? Pretty calm and subtle atmosphere. Is it subtle or subtle? Oh, there goes more of those hot dog thingy-majiggies. Oh, those hot dog things turn into the furry things. Yo, I wonder what's the purpose of that? What is it? Yo, it looks like a hot sausage on a stick that they put in like a grill and got cooked, well done. Wow. I sound hungry, don't I? Talk about hot sausage on a stick. Speaking of sausages, when I used to eat sausages, one of my favorite sausages was an Italian spicy sausage. I used to love those things. That, like hot kielbasis. I used to like, what else I used to like? Assages, Hakapasis. Nathan's dogs were pretty good. Yeah, haven't had much of that in a while though. All right, see? Oh, we got a bicyclist here. Is she breaking the law? Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. We'll never know until the next episode of Do Not Cycle at the Wildlife National Refuge. No, but seriously, y'all saw that sign in the beginning, right? It says no cycling. And she was still cycling. So homegirl was breaking the law. She was breaking the law at what, 9 years old? And her parents were allowing her? So no, but they probably didn't know the update. Because I'm telling you, I didn't know the update. I've seen plenty of people cycle through here. I don't see no reason why you can't cycle through here. Look at this up here. You got a little bird nest. Let me see if y'all can see it. You see right there in that tree? That's a bird nest. It's so quiet. Let me shut up for like 30 seconds and listen. Wow, the ambience is crazy, right? It's incredible ambience. Yeah, I turned the camera so y'all can see the jogger jogging by me, because as soon as I was talking about, let me shut up for a second, then you hear footsteps. Yeah, a lot of people jogging, man. People care about their health. Health is wealth, right? Health is wealth. Look at that tree, bends down and goes like some crazy Matrix stuff. Look at this tree. Look at the way this tree is bent. Yo, check this tree out. This tree is confused. Right. So the tree started out right here, right. Then when it turned a teenager, it went right there, right. Then it became a 20, 30-year-old adult. Then it went back down. It said, no, sirree, I'm not getting wet in the water. And then it came right back up. And now it's in its 40s and 50s. And now look, it's thriving. Yo, that's incredible how that tree is straight. Yo, if I step back, you guys will see how awkwardly shaped that tree is. And it's crazy how the tree was so clever to not get wet. It must be a female, because females don't like their hair to get wet. So it just straight up just said, no way, not today. Mother Nature ain't getting me today. Yo, these trees, it's like these trees are like, look at that. That's like Gone with the Wind. Look how these things are bent. Look at this one. Why is it just pushed all one way, right? Yo, that's crazy. And it looks like they cut this one like that on purpose, because this one's cut right here. So maybe they trim them. Yeah, they probably trim them so that they don't grow over the pathway, so they grow more towards the water. You know what I mean? Oh, there's ducks. You guys don't hear the ducks? Shut up, Toon. I want to hear the ducks. I'm gonna do my duck call. You want me to tell you how to subscribe and duck? Subscribe now. All right, we out. Yo, I speak so many different animal languages. Y'all might as well call me, well, what, Dr. Doolittle, right? Didn't Dr. Doolittle talk to animals? Eddie Murphy? Where the mighty ducks at? Where are my hockey stick and my hockey puck? Yo, these trees, though. These trees are confused. Yeah, there's tons of ducks over there, y'all. There you go. About time we see some wildlife, but they look like teeny weeny little baby specks to you guys. They look like little teeny weeny drops of salt, like drops of little teeny. Hold on, I gotta lick my lips. There you go. Teeny weeny drops of salt. Can't really see them though, but it's cool. There's a ruler right there in the ground, or it's like a yardstick. So I'm assuming, you see it's right there, it's on that 2x1 piece of wood that's going directly in the water. See, I told you that it went more down, because in order for that to be there, they had to walk over there and install it in there. So I guess the water rises often. I guess it depends on the current. And I guess it goes higher, because as you can see, that ruler, I don't know if y'all can really make out what it looks like, but that pole or that stick, that piece of wood that's sticking out of the little marsh right there, it has a bunch of numbers on it. So it's kind of like a yardstick. Have you guys ever noticed how the skin of a tree looks like the skin of your hands. Look at your hand. Look at the back of your hand and look really close at some of your skin, right? And now look at this tree. It looks like really like dry, you know, psoriasis, like dry skin. It really does. Oh, look at this dog over here. It's like a Akita. It's like a little teeny Akita. It's like a little teeny weeny poodle dog. A little teeny weeny poodle. All right, the ducks are flying south, so we about to fly south. Oh, check this out. We got an information board. Let's be educational and read it. It says John Heinz Wildlife National. Nope, it says John Heinz National Wildlife. You see, that's kind of like wordplay there. John Heinz National Wildlife Refuge at Tinicum. Wetland Loop Trail. Yeah, so look where we're at. You are here. We started back there at the visitor center, so we walked there. Remember that shortcut that I took right there at that roundabout? So it gives you a couple options. It tells you like where you could take photos. It tells you like the little boardwalk. It tells you nice spots to take photos. You got the marsh. Check this out. That's the legend. It gives you an idea, you know, where to park, train station, bus stop, boardwalk, bridge, canoe, and kayak launch where you can, you know, set your kayaks up at. And they actually have a fishing area. Yeah, right here, look at it. See the little fish right there on the map? Yeah, so I guess if fishing is your thing and you're in the Philadelphia area, you might want to check this spot out. But make sure that you follow the rules and you don't do what Toon does. Toon makes his own rules. All right, we out here. So you got to be careful with that over there, because that looks normal. That looks like grassy land, but then you walk in the wrong spot and you end up going straight to a swamp, because the leaves like hover over the water. You come in the summer, man, you hear all types of creatures out here. Sounds like you're in the Lion King, where Timon and Pumbaa at. Awimbowe, 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 awimbowe. In the jungle, the mighty. No, my singing voice is. I need some water. My singing voice. I don't got my Celine Dion voice on right now. You know what I mean? Oh, we got more birds' nests. You heard that? We got more birds' nests. See that bird's nest? That's cool. Mother Nature doing what it does. Mother Nature doing what Mother Nature does. Oh, they cut some trees down. Yo, RIP to my fallen soldiers right here. I want to take a moment of silence to remember Bill and Ted. Bill on my left, Ted on my right. You guys were great in that movie. I loved you guys. Peace. Word up to Mom Dukes. All right, here we go. We out. Now I feel like I'm approaching the Hill Has Eyes movie. You know the Hills Have Eyes? Yeah, I feel like now I'm approaching that flick. Look. Oh no, this is that Jeepers Creepers woods. The woods. No, matter of fact, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the woods. Y'all remember? You remember when she's on the side of the road and they're driving by and then they get like flashes and they see her and she's in the middle of the street and she's next to like this backdrop. Yo, and back there's probably a swamp too. Yeah, you definitely don't want to walk back there. But look at that. Look at that, yo. Yo, that's wild, son. All right. Wonder what type of animals still live in the cold season in the water. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's still some type of fish or something that could withstand the cold air. Okay. Area behind. I said behind. Area beyond this sign closed. All public entry prohibited. Man, we gonna go over. Nah, I'm kidding. I was about to fall into the little swamp. That would have been salty if I would have tried to play that off, and then I would have went like knee deep to some swamp water. See, I tell you that there's mass swamps everywhere. Look at this right here. There's like a little swamp area right here. You see this? Yeah, it's tricky. It sets you up for failure. Maybe, I got an idea. Maybe people fell in by mistake exploring and they probably needed help. And then maybe the wildlife rangers started putting those signs up because they got too many incidents of people falling in the water or something. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that I could think of. Because some of those signs weren't up a few years ago. They did have some sign work, but not all of that sign work. Yeah, first time I came back here was 2009. That was the first year I came back here. 2009. Look at this tree. Yo, this tree got all these sharp little pokers sticking out of it. Yo, this tree is probably related to Hellraiser. You remember? Pinhead. Yo, this thing got mad sharp things sticking out of it. Look at it. This is a dangerous tree. Look throughout the tree. There's pokers sticking everywhere. Yo, ain't no squirrel running up this, yo. Ain't no squirrel running up this, I'm telling you. Look at this. Yo, this tree is dangerous. It's straight up related to Hellraiser, yo. Yo, that's crazy. Hellraiser was one of my favorite horror flicks growing up. I would say out of all the horror goons and goblins and monsters there were, he was probably like #1 on my list for the ones that actually put an impression on me when I was like 8, 9, 10. You would think that I'd be afraid of Freddy, but no, I was like completely cool with Freddy. Freddy was pretty cool. I was pretty cool with all the horror characters. Hellraiser, he always made me think twice until I became an adult and I realized, you know, it was cinema. It was a film, which is the field that, you know, I got a degree in. I got a degree in digital film and video production. So I learned about the film industry and music and all of that stuff. How they, you know, do the behind the scenes and stuff. So then I was able to appreciate and embrace Hellraiser a little bit more. But in the beginning, I ain't even gonna front, y'all. Hellraiser used to give me the heebie-jeebies. But it's crazy because now as an adult, horror is my favorite genre. Yeah, horror would be my favorite movie genre. And then I can appreciate comedy. I can appreciate some thriller. I'm not a big fan of drama. I mean, I'll watch the Titanic, but that's about it. Not a big fan of drama. Action movies, I don't know. I got mixed emotions about action movies. Yeah, I'm not the hugest fan of action movies. Although I can appreciate one or two. You know, it's not like I never grew up watching action movies. I saw action movies, especially when I was a kid. I had no choice. But as a young adult now, you know, I don't like, that's not at the forefront. That's not my first choice. That's not the first movie that I want to watch. I usually go straight to the horror section. Yeah, look at these branches. I'm gonna show y'all this. So check this out. Y'all see that squiggly branch right there? Look at it. That squiggly branch starts up there. Now let's see if y'all can follow it down. Look at it. Look. Look at that. Look how it makes a little teeny weeny U-turn. Look at it. And one. Yo, it crossed itself over. And then it runs right back into the ground. Yo, how is that even possible, son? How is that even possible, daughter? How is that even possible? Ain't crazy, right? It's literally coming from this tree right here. That's like a ligament from this tree. But then it just grew itself down here. It planted itself into the ground. Alrighty then. I feel like Ace Ventura. Alrighty then. Let's see if we can keep it pushing. Keep it pushing means let's see if we can keep it flowing and not me stop at every twig, every poker, and every leaf that we see. Because if not, this is going to be like a several-hour tour. But this is cool. I wanted to show y'all this because I know a lot of people lived in Philly or born and raised in Philly and they don't know stuff like this exists in their backyard. You know what I mean? I say in the backyard. It's not really in our backyard. But, you know, it's minutes away, which makes it our backyard. But real rap is slang for, to tell you the truth, people like this people like this. Some of my viewers live in the suburbs or live in the country or live in the woods, and y'all got stuff like this in your backyards on a daily. Like some of my viewers probably live in a desolate, discreet area where this is all they see in their backyard, minus the highway. You know? The only thing I don't like about that is at nighttime, y'all backyards is probably super duper dark. Like y'all roadways is probably dark. They don't got no street poles and none of that. So if you wanted to take a walk to go somewhere, get a, you know, you can't go to the corner store and go get a drink. You got to go get in your car and go drive a couple miles up the road to go to a Quickie Mart. That's the part that I don't like. You know, and if you do walk up your neighborhood, it's like completely dark out, you know? Completely dark. All right, so I'm going to start telling you a story right here where I was with some of my youth, some of my youngsters. I think I was with 5th through 8th grade. I had a few classes here on a trip, scheduled them a trip here during one summer camp. And when we was walking through here, we was having fun. You know, some of the kids were tired, some were enthusiastic about it, some were hungry. Everybody had their own excuses. That's your typical, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13, you know, 14-year-old, whatever. So we was going through here. Everybody was having fun. And I said, hey guys, let's take a shortcut. That's me trying to be, you know, Dora the Explorer. Dora the Explorer. So I was like trying to, graffiti back there. You want me to show you guys? Because I do have some graffiti viewers who appreciate graffiti. Well, anyway, so we was back here and I decided to take a shortcut. I'm like, hey guys, let's take this shortcut. All right, I'm gonna postpone my story and just take this quick little shot of the graffiti. Y'all really can't see it. I see Spiro. I see, is that Karaz? K-A-R-A, what? Y'all can't see. I got sun in my face. I got light in my face. We got Elise. We got a couple other ones. I could barely see DHS. Anyway, at least I made an effort to at least show you guys some of the graffiti. Oh, we got Havoc over here. We got some tags over here on this pole. So check this out. Look straight up. What do we have right here? A billboard. Because right here, that highway travels southbound, northbound. Crazy, right? It's so close to the wildlife refuge. So anyway, back to my story. So we was walking. It was a hot day too, and I remember. And the kids were complaining. Like some of them wanted to get back sooner. Some didn't even care. They're like, Mister, they're out here. Like we having fun. So we was out here. Look, I can go left. So you can go left and go through a whole nother trail, or go right. I ponder. Where should we go? Where should we go? Let me see where we're at now. All right, it says you are here. Nah, we're gonna have to go up more because where the story happened at that I'm about to tell you, you see where them two little canopy things are? You see where it says you are here? This whole little pathway right there, those two little things that look like canopies next to the Tinicum Marsh boardwalk. Well, right here, you see this dotted line? Follow that dotted line. You see where it breaks off to those 3 orange lines? The story I'm about to tell you happened on one of them orange lines. So we're gonna walk up here. So as we was walking up here, it was a balling hot day. They wanted to take a shortcut. I wanted to take a shortcut. I was trying to give the ones that were complaining the benefit of the doubt. So when we go over there to where them orange lines start at, that's separate pathways. I said, hey guys, let's take a shortcut. So they all follow me because I'm the leader. Follow the leader. We all cut through what seemed to be like, I thought it was normal woods. Remember I said in the summer, it's usually a lot more greenery. So we weren't able to distinguish what was what. And I've cut through these grassy areas plenty of times. Mind you, I was with a whole classroom of kids. So I decided to make a right. I cut just like we did the first time I cut. We ran through. When we ran through and we got out, not only my legs was burning, but you saw like 10. Some of the kids were smart. Some of the kids did not take the shortcut. Yo, I give those kids credit because they was like, no, we not following him. But I did have like a bunch of like, I would say like 10, 11 of them that did follow me. Yo, when we got out, we were smacking our legs. Everybody was itching. You had some kids like squealing. Like, my legs burn. My legs burn. Yo, I think we walked through poison ivy. Yo, that was the first time in my life that I felt poison ivy. And it was probably some of those kids' first times ever experiencing poison ivy. Somebody had a bottle of water. They was pouring on their legs. I snatched it. I said, give me some of that. I put it on my ankles. I like rubbed my calves and like my shins. And then some kids were wetting their ankles with like water. After I would say about 6-7 minutes, most of the stinging subsided. The kids were cracking up though. Like we had kids like aching and pain, itching. But by the end of the walk, by the end of the trail, everybody's skin soothed off. Some people had like red bumps. It felt like ants, like needles, like teeny weeny prickly needles poking the pores of your skin. And that was the time to remember, man. I remember when we were on the bus ride back, they was talking about it. When we got to the classroom, they was talking about it. It was funny, but it was a good story. It was like, that was a summer experience to remember, you know? And I was happy and I enjoyed it. You know, I had a good time with them. They had a good time. We had a laugh. You had to be there to experience it and see all the kids' faces. Like everybody had like ants in their pants. We were all dancing, jumping up and down, slapping our legs, taking spring bottles of water. And there was probably like 2 or 3 spring bottles of water. But best believe we split those 3 bottles amongst 10, 11 kids, including myself. I said, y'all give me some of that water. My legs burn. Yeah, it was funny as ever, man. Funny. Good times though, good times. Check it out. Show you guys what this looks like. Yeah, the good old days. The youth that I used to work with, since we're talking about youth, I used to work with obviously inner city youth, minorities, Hispanic, African American youngsters. I think I had a couple Arabs and Palestinians. But for the most part, and I had like 2 Asian students. But for the most part, it was like African American and Hispanic, Spanish kids. And mind you, most of these youth were in a sense troubled, meaning they grew up like myself in single parent households. They grew up with either mom, with pop. They were probably raised by their grandparents, by aunts, uncles. They probably have parents that are strung out. You know, they've all experienced their own pain. And it was cool because I was able to relate to them. Like I was actually able to, you know, I come from the same background. I come from the same neighborhood that you guys do. I experienced the same thing. Grew up in a single parent household. I didn't have aunts in my life. I didn't have grandparents in my life. So I was able to really relate to them and I enjoyed it. And these were kids that even I used to work with 9th through 12th, and the 9th through 12th were probably a little bit worse. You could keep on going straight up there, guys. But for the purpose of this tour, I'm just gonna make a right here. But we still got a long way to go. I'm telling you, we got a long way to go. But yeah, so for the most part, like these were the youth, the 9th through 12th were considered like unmanageable, like, you know, problems and nuisance to society. They were getting kicked out of school. They were using substances like marijuana, you know, pills, you know, substance abuse. Some of the younger females were pregnant. Some of the, younger gentlemen, got locked up, got kicked out of school. Some were going through DHS and more. So these were the ones that the parents couldn't really, tame them, or the system couldn't tame them. The system was like, the system in general, like the school system, like these kids are bad, you got to be careful. And I was able to relate to them. Like I was one of them. That's how I looked at it. And that's how I started every class when I used to introduce myself to the masses and to the youth. Like, I am one of you. I am you. You are me. We are the same thing. And the only thing that separates us is a couple years in age. But for the most part, I can completely understand and sympathize with what you guys are going through or went through. And every time you come to my classrooms, everybody be, sitting down, eyes looking on me. People was raising their hands. Nobody was acting a fool. Like I had 110% respect. And that was a good feeling. It was a really intriguing, euphoric feeling to know that one day I was in the classroom environment. I was sitting down as a student myself. And then fast forward, 10, 15 years later, I'm in front of the classroom conducting class, teaching my lesson, or at one point managing the staff that was teaching the lessons and creating the lessons and creating the lesson plans and going through class to class, monitoring how, the learning was going along, and you're watching these kids, do projects that I created that came from the fruition of my mind. That was really, really powerful at one point, That was in my earlier years, and it was cool. It was nice, to give these kids the benefit of the doubt. A lot of those kids weren't bad. They were not bad. They were not. They were all like, I don't care how many tattoos they had on them. I don't care how many times they got locked up, how many times they got in trouble. They were not bad. They just needed a little bit of love, attention, care. They needed somebody to relate to them. And like my class was always the most popping class. I would walk to different classes, even when I would cover classes when the staff wasn't there. And if their class was a little wild, they knew when I walked in, class would get silent. It didn't matter what class I covered, or even when I used to go check up on staff, if the staff was, the kids were running around. When I walked in, they all knew that I was there overseeing, and they got back to their chairs and all of that. So it was cool, man. It was a real cool experience. It taught me a lot. It taught me a valuable life lesson. So one day when I have my children and I'm able to raise them, I can do my best to, give them a good education, give them a good jump start, teach them, right from wrong without forcing them too much, allowing them to learn on their own too. Because a lot of time as human beings, we have to learn through experience. We can't, no matter how many times our parents told us something, we didn't listen, right? We had to learn from doing it ourselves. And when we got burnt, that's when we listened. We got burnt with the fire, and it's like, okay, now we know. Now we know right from wrong. So it's like a little balance. It's like a 50-50 between allowing the kids to become leaders on their own, lead their own, peer mediate their own problems, but guiding them a little bit. And it was some of the best years of my life. Like I said, working with the youngsters was cool. Like, the K through third, you didn't really have that much of a problem. Some of the third graders would probably be ADHD, so they was like hyperactive, bouncing around all the time. But that's expected of a third grader. That's expected of a second grader, of a fourth grader. That's completely understandable. They're kids, they're full of energy. They just need to do activities. You know what I mean? You can't just let them teach themselves. You can't just put them in front of a TV and expect them to sit still for several hours a day. And that's what most parenting was, in the last decade or two that I've witnessed, is like, let the kids raise themselves. Give them some toys, give them an iPad, give them this, give them that. That's it. Sit down and don't move. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. And, I'm no one to be telling anyone how to parent their children. But I'm glad that I was able to take notes. For so many years, I was able to take note, I didn't have kids. I don't have kids. I'm 32 with no kids. But the way that I used to look at it is every year, after every graduating class, my older kids left and the new kids came in. I would say I had 152, children. These are my kids. And I treated those kids like they were mine. And it was fun, man. It was really fun. Check it out. We got the wetland loop, Turkey Foot Trail, East Coast Greenway linking cities Maine to Florida. And then we got another little, what's this, a map? The map tells us where we are. Now check out where we are here on the map. So as you can see, we're moving along. We were down there. We could have took that shortcut and went straight across, but I wanted to show you guys a little orange path. So now we got to go all through the zigzag. And I think around here, there's a bridge, and there's that double deck pier patio thing that I was mentioning to you. Yeah, so they even got a little boardwalk right here. Look at it. You see it? Yeah, I had some good memories here, really good memories. Those memories I wouldn't trade for the world, you know? I would not trade them. And I never thought I'd get into the educational background. That was not my goal. My goal was to be a cartoonist. And I grew up drawing. I love cartoons, hence my name Toon. So I used to like watching Nicktoons, Nickelodeon. I watched a little bit of Cartoon Network, but I wasn't a big fan of Cartoon Network. Hold on, let me make sure that we're going the right way. Yeah, we're going the right way. I have to make sure. Yeah, so I wasn't a big fan of Cartoon Network. I really wanted to be a cartoonist. That was my goal. I wanted to like work for like Disney or work for Nickelodeon, to be honest. When I was like 9, 10, 11, 12. And then as technology progressed, let me show you guys this little cool billboard here. Tinicum Marsh boardwalk. And then it gives you some ideas of what type of animals are here. Red-winged blackbird on wild rice. Oh snap, he's on wild rice. Oh, we see the bald eagles here. That's cool. That's a national bird, right? Check it out. It pretty much says the same thing that they all do. This one just seems to be like really big. I guess for the people who have bad vision. And then you can go left. Check it out. You can go left, and that's where the little boardwalk is at. I got scrapes on my hand from going through all them thorns. Yeah, so I really wanted to be a cartoonist, and then when technology progressed, I learned about arts and design. That's what I had went to my first college for. I ended up dropping classes after a year and a half because it wasn't that hands-on. I'm kind of like a right-brain learner. So I went from, arts and design then to have a secondary major as business management. My primary major was arts and design. My secondary major was business management because I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always been a jack of all trades. I'm a hustler. I could sell salt to a slug. You know what I mean? Check out this tree. Really big tree. It's massive, right? Really massive. All right, yeah, so business management was my secondary major, but like I said, the first college I went to wasn't really that, it didn't retain my attention span. So I ended up dropping courses and everything. But the funny thing is how I got into working with youth was through getting in trouble with the law. That was, one of my first crossings with the law was, long story short, it was a criminal mischief and vandalism case. I had one of my buddies from high school. He asked me for my shank at the time, and I was dumb enough to give it to him. He shanked a store owner's tire that he had beef with, that he fought once. The dude was probably like 40s, and my buddy from high school was probably like 16, and he had swung at the guy before who owned the store. Anyway, they got into some beef. I was dumb enough to pass him my knife, and we was actually on our way to go pick up our graduation book, yearbook, and to go get our class stuff because it was about to be the end of the year. I passed him a knife. Long story short, he shanked the tire. I got away. I ran. He ran, but I was with one of my younger cousins who was from Jersey, who's a mix of my uncle from my pop's side was Spanish, and then his mom was Caucasian, or what you guys would call ethnic white. So my cousin ran too. He was only like 11. I was the older cousin. I was like 17, I think 18. And matter of fact, if I was 17, 18, then my homie was about 17 too. So anyway, my cousin was like 11 though. And when we ran right after my homie shanked the tire, I got away. My homie got away. And I got all the way home. But my cousin didn't follow me. Like, he ran, but from what he told me, that they grabbed him. Somebody from the block grabbed him. Blah, blah, blah. I told the story about it on my channel. Spoke about it on my channel. Hold on, let's look down here. John Heinz National Wildlife Refuge at Tinicum, bald eagles, a soaring success in Philadelphia. Our national symbol. You see, I told you that was our national symbol. Check it out. I'm gonna just try to get a nice wide shot in case anybody wants to screenshot this and read it. I don't want to sit here and read this, but you guys are more than welcome. Oh, check out the little teeny weeny cute little birds. Tweedle tweet, chirp chirp, tweedle tweet. Hatchlings, yeah, it teaches you about all that stuff. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so my cousin got caught and I couldn't let him go down by himself, so I went back. I tried to go get him. I was dumb enough to tell my homie, yo, let me get your shirt and let me wear your shirt. And I took my shirt and I wrapped my shirt around my head, thinking that I was smart. Like, I'm gonna go in there with a separate attire. That obviously I wasn't wearing the gray shirt. My homie was wearing the gray shirt. But I don't know why I didn't process the thoughts of, dude, why are you gonna go in with the clothing that the actual criminal or the person who did the crime with? They're gonna ID you as the person who did it. So I went in there, I tried to play it all smooth to see if he was in the store. He wasn't in the store, but they locked the door and they didn't let me out. They was talking about that they should kill me, this and that, and tell them that I tried to rob the store. They should turn off the camera. Because he was angry. The store owner was really angry. He thought that I was the one that did it. I'm like, nah, dude, it wasn't me. But I wasn't gonna, especially, you know, the code that we live by in the streets, I wasn't gonna rat on my homie. So I took the L. L means I took the loss. I took it to the chin. They called the police. They cuffed me up. My cousin was upstairs. He told me that they had my little cousin upstairs who was 11. So he was a minor. He said that they grabbed him, blah, blah, blah. One of the neighbors grabbed him, you know, because neighbors stick out for neighbors. So anyway, when they were carrying me out the store with the cuffs, about to put me in the vehicle, people from across the street ID'd me as me being the one that did the crime. But I did not do the crime. I wasn't the one that shanked the tire. Although that was instant karma for me giving him the knife and allowing him to use my weapon to shank the tire. And the night before, I was doing something real crazy with my with my buddy, shout out Nilo. We was out on the block kind of vandalizing a vehicle. It was an abandoned vehicle. So I guess that was karma the next day. But anyway, so they ID'd me as being the one that did it. Yeah, and me and my cousin both got booked. We was both in the cell together, and he was in the cell next to me. Now, mind you, this is an 11-year-old. Little kid, little boy. And at that time, Akon, the song Akon, I'm Locked Up, was popular. It was like a hit single that year. So he's in the cell next to me on the 25th district, talking about I'm locked up, they won't let me out. They won't let me out. I'm in my head like, dude, would you shut up? That's a true story. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? But yeah, man, that was priceless. Maybe my ages are slightly off because I don't think I'm that much older than my cousin. I probably am a couple years older than him. I don't know if I was 16, 17, and he was probably like 12, 13. I don't know, but he was a little boy. And that sucked. That sucked big time because he ended up getting a little case. I ended up getting a little case. I never ratted on my homie. Not one bit. And my homie was right there at the corner. Remember I had his shirt on and I put my shirt on my head? He was out there shirtless, standing on Hope and Tioga, watching me get put into the vehicle. But he ain't never say nothing, and it's cool. It is what it is. So I took that case, criminal mischief and vandalism. And what led me into working with youth was I had to do community service. And I started volunteering at the Free Library of Philadelphia, working for the city of Philadelphia. It originally started off as volunteer work to do some community service. But I remember the site manager, Miss Marcella, she loved me so much. She loved my demeanor. She loved my attitude, the role that I was playing in the environment. She employed me. After my community service was up, she asked me if I wanted employment. I said, sure, why not? So I started off there. I was filing, I was working with the book system and everything. I had jobs before that, but at the time, I was a youngster. I was, 17? And to be working at the Free Library of Philadelphia, it wasn't only to be working at the Free Library, but the fact that I was receiving checks my checks, the payee was the city of Philadelphia. So that was big for me being a kiddo, being a youngster. Like, wow, I'm like getting checks from the city of Philadelphia. And I was just, I just got hemmed up and arrested by the city of Philadelphia. So that was like so cool. So boom, I ended up working for the Free Library of Philadelphia under the city of Philadelphia. That was the people that was paying me my checks. And then an executive director of an organization that I grew up volunteering. I've always been a big player in the community, in my community. I've always been involved in like community service. Before I had to do community service, before I even had to do legal community service, I was volunteering my time as a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, and going to big meetings and talking in front of like congressmen and like Angel Cruz and Maria Quinones and a bunch of other, major players when I was a youngster. So this executive director, she knew me. She was a lawyer. She's of Spaniard descent. She was a major player in the community. She wanted to empower the community. And, she always would check up on me periodically. And I remember that summer she asked me, hey, blah, blah, blah. That's my name, blah, blah, blah. How you doing? How's everything going? I said, I'm good, blah, blah. She said, you know that we're hiring at this school. Boom, boom, boom. She said, tell them I sent you. Boom, boom, boom. That was basically getting the best recommendation you can ever get from the executive director of an organization who's seen you grow up for the last several years. She knew that I was in the trouble. She knew I got into a sticky situation, but she's a firm believer in rehabilitation. She gives people second, third, fourth chances. She knows everybody makes mistakes. And I guess her being in the judicial system and being a lawyer, she understands like how it works. How sometimes people can be stuck in tight situations. Check out the ducks. Now y'all can see the ducks. See, we was all the way over there, remember? We was all the way over there and we walked around all of this. Yeah, so anyway, she knew, that no one's perfect, so she gave me the chance. I went, I did the interview, I spanked it, and I got employed. I started at the very bottom of the organization and very quickly, upon putting in hard effort, working through recommendations, through parents giving compliments and everything, I started working my way up the ladder. Went from, a bottom player to an activities coordinator, then to offer 2 different site manager positions. And then I was offered my own computer lab to run a computer lab and teach resume preparation, workshop development. I was teaching digital film and video production. I was managing, several classrooms, doing the lesson planning, the trip planning, the material ordering, and just so much more. I was really involved in that atmosphere, and who knew it would all start from an accident, from a bad mistake, or was it a good mistake? Was it a good decision, right? But yeah, so unfortunately, I ended up, getting into a field that is it unfortunate or is it fortunate? I don't know, but I ended up getting into a field that I never thought I'd be getting into. I thought I was going to go straight into drawing cartoons or go straight into making advertisements for big companies. But no, I ended up working with youth. And I think my time with the youth was much needed, because I remember that I affected many youth, like, in such a positive way. And still to this day, when they see me, they call me by my government, like, yo, Mr. Boom Boom. We're going to say my name is Boom Boom for now. I say, Mr. Boom Boom, how you doing? And some of my youth, my youngsters are old. Some of my youngsters are... Check this out. No fishing. This is that double deck that I was telling you about. Look, we're going to go up here. Let's go up here, see what it looks like.
Yeah, no, I get that. But the other thing is...
Look at those big white, what's that, swans? Or is ducks? Not ducks. Big white ducks, you see them? They got a little binoculars right here in case you guys want to look. You can take advantage of the view. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I remember coming up here with the classroom of kids. They all had a ball. They had a ball up here. Check it out. Yeah, that water's super duper dirty. Super duper dirty. But we was all the way over there, remember? It was way over there, y'all. Remember the highway over there? We just walked all of that. And we could have walked even more, but remember we made one of the first turns? Over there, there's a bridge. We can cross that bridge. We'll end up passing that bridge over there. We'll end up crossing that bridge, but yeah, so it's pretty neat. Let me show you guys the steps. I'm going to tilt the camera down. Let me show you guys what this level looks like. Yeah, it's pretty nice. See a little staircase? Yeah, I don't want to go over there because they got children over there and a mother's over there with her children. I don't want to point the camera at them. But yeah, guys, check out this L lens. Pretty neat. Yeah, so you know, I'm pretty thankful for the experience that I was able to live, the life that I lived. I mean, it wasn't the highest paying gig, you know. And I was also in the nonprofit sector too, which if you know anything about that, you got to do it because you love the work. You're definitely not doing it for the money, because definitely was a struggling person. But you know, I always had side grinds, side little moves that I was able to get by with. Check that out, restrooms. Yeah, and the cool thing was since I was in that field, and I was also in the coordinating field, I would attend so many crazy major meetings and speak in front of large crowds, and you would see me the way I look. I definitely didn't match the environment, but I loved it, like blowing people's minds. And whenever I would get finished a little speech or get finished talking, like they would come and commend me, they would shake my hand, and I had gentlemen that was older than me that would come to me like, sir, like you did an excellent job. Or like when my kids, different groups would like present projects and they seen the type of things we were working on, or they would come in and they would monitor my classroom and just sit there in the back and see how I was able to keep their attention. Oh man, talk about euphoria. It's definitely like a highest feeling without having to get high. Like, it was an awesome feeling to know that I was able to, you know, keep the energy, you know, up and lift a lot of kids' spirits. I think I was meant to be there because I helped a lot of kids through like personal trials and tribulations, and there was a bunch of stories that I can't talk about in one sitting. You know, it was about roughly like 10 years of employment in that field, of working my way up the ladder. And yeah, I had to let it go one day and just follow my dreams, follow my goals. Because, you know, I do have a degree in digital film and video production, and even though I was teaching, you know, video production at my latest years of being in that field, it still wasn't where I was supposed to be at. You know, I didn't like the saying of, if you can't do it, you teach it. I didn't like that saying, because I knew that I can do it too. I know I had the skill. I didn't want to be one of those people who, you know, oh, I used to be, you know, real good at basketball. I should have been in the NBA, but now I'm a basketball teacher. You know what I mean? Like, no, I didn't want to do that. No, like, I can create quality product using, you know, a film camera as a medium, or in this case, a digital camera as a medium. So, yeah, but I was able to learn about a lot of free resources in Philadelphia, like the Firefighter Museum. It's a free museum in Philly, and a bunch of other like free resources, you know, especially since we were nonprofit. We were in the nonprofit sector, low budget. Every year it was always budget issues and budget crunches, and you know, we had to work with what we had. So I was able to learn about a lot of places in the city, and it was fun, man. It was fun, but like I said, I had to focus on, you know, me. And the last 6 or so years, I've been trying to focus on bettering myself as far as, you know, making a sustainable income, trying to also balance that with what I enjoy. You know, you want to make sure you spend your life doing something that you enjoy. Don't do it just for the money. Do it because you enjoy it. And although I enjoyed working with the youth, I think my time there was up. Yeah, I was working with all types of people, all people from all walks of life. And like I said, I was teaching adults twice my age. So I was working with seniors, 50s, 60s, some 70s that didn't have no computer literacy skills whatsoever. They didn't know how to operate a mouse, a keyboard. And I was like teaching them basic introductory classes to, you know, computer 101 and computer literacy and all types of stuff, man. I was just developing things after things after things, trying to use my young creative mind to you know, better my community. I've always been a community player. Yeah, man. Trying really hard. But that was, you know, good experience, because I think all that experience, all like the computer tech skills that I had, even me being able to type extremely fast, comes in handy when I'm like on YouTube and I'm creating content and I'm doing the description and when I'm doing the tags and when I'm responding back to people, and just the basic common courtesy on how to respect someone. You know, dealing with parents from all walks of life. I've dealt with some of the angriest parents to some of the most polite parents. You know, I've heard some of the craziest stories. It felt like I lived a whole life in a mini life, you know? And mind you, while I was doing all of that, what I was just telling you, I was still dipping and dabbling in the streets, doing what I do. You know, side hustles and then living a street life too. So I felt like, what's his name? Bruce Wade? Is Bruce Wade the guy who plays Batman? Anyway, like in the daytime, like he's one person, or Bruce Banner or something. Like, isn't Bruce Banner the Incredible Hulk dude? Well, anyway, you know, during the day I was this person, and then during the night I was another person, and then back when I was back in the classroom I was this personality, this ego, or this alter ego or something, you know what I mean? And I try not to intertwine both personalities, my street life with my classroom life, you know? I was probably one of the only dudes on the corner, hanging on the corner, that actually had influence over kids, but I wouldn't bring that into the classroom and teach the kids that. And while I was on the corner with my homies and hanging out on the block with certain homies, I would always try to preach to them and try to uplift them and try to, you know, plant the seed in their mind, you know, that they can do better, you know, try to gear them in the right direction, or steer, I should say. It was fun. It was fun, you know. It's really fun. I tell you, I was like usually always the youngest person in a lot of those PHMC meetings and those city meetings and those teacher meetings and all those meetings I used to go to. I was probably the youngest, most urban looking fella in the classroom. And mind you, I had tattoos. I had both sleeves, you know, neck tats and back neck tats and leg tats. But, you know, like I said, I got to give a big thanks to the executive director of the organization. You know, she believed in me, and she knew that I had potential since I was a youngster. Standing in front of her and a button up, a tie, some slacks, tucked in shirt, with some shoes, some shiny shoes. 13 years old with a super duper strong speech impediment, stuttering a whole lot. Still trying to speak on behalf of the community. You know, I was so much of a community player. I remember at 14 years old, I was home, and at the time, I lived by a park. They were hosting an annual festival, and I didn't go to that festival. But they came and knocked on my door. People from the neighborhood said, yo, blah, blah, blah. My name's going to be blah, blah, blah for this. Yo, blah, blah, blah. They just called your name out at the park and they got a plaque for you. And when I went to the park, they gave me a plaque for a citizen of the year and stuff. So like, yeah, I was one of those dudes. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, guys. Check this out. Right angle, a guide to fishing at John Heinz National Wildlife Refuge at Tinicum. So this is where you're allowed to fish at. For all you guys who like to fish, I never got into fishing, and I never think I ever will. I don't like it. I don't like it, but I don't want to, you know, burst anybody's bubble who enjoys fishing. I'd rather let the wildlife live on its own. I don't want to poke it with pokers. I don't want to. Nah. I'm not one to be, you know, trying to play a larger entity and take them out their natural habitat. I don't believe in that. You know, we all got our own beliefs, but this is where you could go canoeing at. You can go canoeing down here. I've seen people canoe down this whole thing. It's kind of trippy. You know, you better know how to swim. I mean, it's probably what, like 10, 15 feet deep, or I don't know. But yeah, you can go canoeing there. Oh, this dude has one heck of a nature lens. He got like a 500 millimeter. Yeah, he was with the wildlife camouflage. He had the wildlife camouflage jacket. And his lens also had the wildlife camouflage jacket. So he wanted his whole camera and everything to blend in. Wow, he's probably gonna take some awesome photos. Usually it's like bird watchers and everything. People like, you know, bird watching and stuff. Then on my right hand side, you got that little bridge. Remember that bridge I was telling y'all about? Yeah, this is that little bridge. We can keep on going straight, which will take us to the exit. Or we can walk across this bridge. I'm probably gonna take you guys at least across this bridge so you guys can experience this. Because literally, if you keep on going straight, probably another 3-minute walk, we'll end up exiting the premises. Yeah, 3, maybe 5 minutes tops, depending on how fast you walk. You just keep walking down this path and you're out. You'll get back to the parking lot. But for the purpose of this tour, I'm gonna make a right and take you guys across this little bridge right here. This little walking path. Normally, I don't like talking about my personal business. I've always been really, I want to say recluse, but I've always been really incognito, been really personal. I keep certain details to myself. And if I do leave, or if I do want to talk about important stuff, I'll save it for a book one day, or for like a feature-length documentary about your boy Toon. Check it out. Let me show you guys this real quick. But a lot of stuff that I'm talking about has already been talked about on my channel, so it's not really anything groundbreaking. If you take the effort to look through my channel, you'll find a lot of gems. I've been very open, very transparent. You know, remember, or if you don't remember, in the year 2018, I vlogged every single day of the year. I'm gonna make this shortcut right here. I want you guys to look down. I'm about to slide down here. Give me a second, let's see if I fall. Oh, I made it, guys. Yeah, so check it out. Yeah, I've been very transparent, really open with certain details, you know, and like I said, if I do, you know, I got more stories that, you know, not many people heard about, no one ever heard about, some people took to the grave, you know, so I'll talk about those stories maybe in the future, whenever God feels that I should talk about them. You know, I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not perfect, very flawed, very imperfect, but I think, I always say this, I've said it in several different videos, our imperfections is what makes us perfect, you know? And in that year, in 2018, I vlogged every day for 365 days straight, behind the scenes of my life, like the ups and the downs. And I dropped a lot of gems, a lot of important information. I was very vocal, I was very passionate. I did like 17 plus motivational speeches throughout that year, you know, where I've, you know, try to plant seeds and try to uplift people. Try to be a role model, especially for the people in the hood, because sometimes people in the hood think you always got to remain hood, you know what I mean? And I always tell people the strongest weapon you have is not a firearm. It's your brain, it's your mind. Knowledge is power. Empower your brain and, you know, you can conquer the world. Like Pinky and the Brain. Oh, check this out. Remember I was talking about turtles? Look at it. Red-eared slider. Releasing non-native animals in the wild can have adverse effects in the surrounding wildlife. Red-eared sliders are invasive and compete with native turtles for food, nesting, and shelter spaces. Wow, so red-eared slider turtles are considered an invasive species? I found one of them. Well, it found me. It found me in the hood. I got that video on my channel too. The day I found it, like a giant turtle, one of these red-eared sliders, walking in the hood. Somebody dumped it in the hood and I picked it up. Oh, look at goose. I guess those white things that we saw were Canada gooses. Check this out. Did you know? The homie Pam is from Canada. Did you know the female is called a goose while the male is referred to as a gander? The young of the flock are called gooselings. Length 29 through 43.3 inches. Weight 6.6 through 19.8 pounds. Wingspan 50 through 66.9 inches. Wow, we just learned something. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. And as you can see, look at tons and tons of water, right? So beautiful. Oh, check this out. I want to show you guys something behind me, but I want to look at this real quick. Give me a second. Just want to give the female an opportunity to walk by, but look at this. Bald eagle. Say, what's it say? It says, "Oh, say, can you see the bald eagle has been the emblem of the United States of America since 1782. Wow, that's cool, right? Wasn't we just talking about that? Being the national bird? And then over here, it's the walkway that we just walked. I'm not gonna point it at them because there's people over there. They're gonna think strange thoughts. So yeah, walking across this path. Let me look down so you guys can see what it looks like. Now this one feels a lot more stable than that walking tour that I just did of New Hope, PA. New Hope, PA was very beautiful. If you guys haven't seen that walking tour, go check it out. But I walked over their bridge and their bridge felt suspect, really questionable. It was like loose. Look at this, waterfront. Perhaps our best known group of birds, waterfowl species such as ducks, geese, let me zoom out a little bit, and swans have webbed feet and water-repellent feathers that allow them to float and swim easily. Often shrinking in plumage, waterfowl are found in a easily, what it says? Waterfowl are found in a easily, it's not easily. I straight up went back and read one line. Waterfowl are found in a variety of watery habitats from the Arctic to the tropics. Dabbling ducks tip tail up in the water to feed and can spring directly into flight. Diving ducks dive deep in a search of food and must run across the water surface to take flight. Yeah, pretty cool. See, that goes to show you, that's why I always tell people it's not about what happens to you, it's about what do you do with what happens to you. You know, you go through a bad circumstance in your life, do you let it change your life for the bad? Or do you take advantage of every single lemon given to you, plant a lemon tree, make a lemon pie, and give everybody a slice of lemon cake? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta sit there and just adapt to every situation. And I'm very fortunate enough that I was able to adapt in my life. I was able to blend in like a chameleon into, you know, very diverse, you know, backgrounds and, you know, fields of employment. I did several other little odds and ends gigs over the years, but right now I'm just, you know, freelance, you know, an entrepreneur is following his heart, you know, taking it one day at a time. The first, you know, 3 years when I left the work field, I was heavily shooting music videos, doing a lot of video production, contracted gigs, but that all changed when I lost my buddy, my best friend. And I realized what was more important. What was I prioritizing in life? I was prioritizing the wrong things, you know, not taking advantage of my family and my friends, the closest ones around me, because one day they're not going to be around anymore. And I was investing a lot of time being out there or being stuck in front of a computer, editing for 10, 15-hour days, 5 days a week, out shooting, you know, just, and the chase, I was chasing the cheese, you know what I mean? So for the last, I would say, 2 to 3 years, I've been just focused on living a better quality of life, even though if that means struggling, even though if that may mean, you know, not living the best life per se. But that's why this year, you know, I told my wife we're gonna do our best to live our best life in 2021, you know, no matter what it takes, you know, no matter what type of small, you know, manageable sacrifices we have to make. We're gonna do what we can to just live a little bit more, because where I'm from, people die every day, you know, and that's a deep, powerful statement. People die every day, and you know, I could have been any one of those youngsters that passed away, you know. I've been in a close call on a few occasions, gun held to my neck, gun held to my forehead, you know. Been in some sticky situations, but I think that's what makes the character that you hear today. That's why I say sometimes I think I'm an old soul, smushed inside a young body. I got like a 60-year-old dude smushed inside my 32-year-old body, but that's cool. Proud of it. But I could only imagine what my, oh, let's check this out for all you guys who love birdvex. Red-winged blackbird. The song of the red-winged blackbird, condori, is a familiar sound of spring throughout the United States. The male is black with a red shoulder patch, often seen in courtship displays. The red-winged blackbird builds its nests in large colonies in thick vegetation and forages for food in nearby marshes and open areas. And y'all heard the ducks, right? There's a lot of ducks going by. But yeah, very fortunate, very fortunate. That's why, you know, I like to take a second to thank the higher powers of the universe for blessing me with the hand of cards I was dealt, you know. It wasn't a full house, it wasn't a royal flush, but I played Uno and I played, Go Fish throughout the whole way. And just try to match up the best card to the circumstances that I was provided and not complain and just adapt. I think complaining is wasting time. Complaining is not beneficial. It doesn't get you anywhere, you know? Oh, poison ivy. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Check this out, y'all. This is that stuff that got me and the kids. Poison ivy, leaves of 3. Let it be is a familiar warning to stay clear of this plant. Poison ivy can grow as a shrub, vine, or climber, but it can always be identified as by its 3-part leaves. Although the plant often causes a rash in humans, many birds eat the small, white, round berries that appear in fall. Wow, so that goes to show you, I told you that it can cause a small rash in humans, because my leg was burning. What? My legs was burning. And let me tell you about the one time too, I got home and I had a deer tick. When I went to take a shower, I had a deer tick stuck on my hip. Yep, it was like probably like 2-3 centimeters big. Look at, there's a whole group over there just hanging out. You see, this is the entrance of the trail. Over there is the visitor center. And right there's that path that we started with. And then you go all the way around and then you come out. Well, this isn't the path you come out because you can actually go down here. There's really another path all the way over there that I ain't take y'all through because I don't think it would have been as entertaining as that little walkthrough that we just did over the bridge. Look at this. Let me show you guys this too before we exit the premises. Welcome to John Heinz National Wildlife Refuge at Tinicum. This 6/10 mile wheelchair accessible nature trail. Is that 6/10, right? 6/10? 6 out of 10 mile? Anyway, this 6 out of 10 mile wheelchair accessible nature trail loop, which includes a boardwalk, viewing deck, and scopes, was made available through the generous support of the Friends of the Heinz Refuge, FOHR. We invite you to reconnect your family with nature, and that we did, while exploring your National Wildlife Refuge system, where wildlife comes naturally. Yeah, this is fly, y'all. This is a real fly, dope, popping location. You know, I had to drop that in for my youngsters. There's a real chill spot to come through. You know, if you want to come with a couple friends, but be respectful. Don't be coming over here littering, soiling, graffitiing, messing stuff up. You know, this is a nice spot that we can preserve as a community and continue to enjoy for decades and, you know, millenniums to come. There's not much greenery left in the city, so it's always cool to see a spot like this. When you come with kids here, there's usually like you can sit out here in the grass, feed them lunch. There's a little table over there where you can, you know, eat lunch. And remember, I told you earlier, if we kept walking straight, that we'll come out. This is that side that we would have came out, that path. But yeah, let's go over here and see this sign real quick. John Heinz National Wildlife Refuge at Tinicum. It says, get a little closer so y'all can see what it says. It says, welcome, we hope you enjoy your refuge for wildlife. Help us keep it safe for wildlife and people by following these rules. Permitted activities. You're allowed to hike, bicycling in designated areas. All right, so that little girl wasn't breaking the law. My bad. Fishing in designated areas, pets on a leash, and canoeing. Prohibited activities. Fires, you can't camp, no camping. Collecting plants or animals. Dang it, I gotta take that whole tree that I planted in my backyard. But no, I didn't take a tree home, but just being funny. Off-road vehicles, that wasn't really funny, was it? That was a stupid joke. And I was working on that since last Thursday night around 7:30 p.m. I started writing that joke up, and now I failed miserably. No alcoholic beverages, hunting, trapping, ice skating. Yo, who would ice skate around here? Ain't no way I'm ice skating through any of this. You're going down for the count. Or swimming. Who in the world would swim through this? No, not me. And check this out. This is the canoe launch point. Look at, check it out. You can drop off your canoe here. Look at, and you go down here. This is actually where I've actually been with someone who's launched their canoe down here. I didn't go canoeing, but I helped him launch his canoe from here and watched him canoe himself straight through here. Look at those ducks. There's ducks over here, guys. Look at. There's tons and tons of ducks. And then look at those big barrels. Those, I want to call them barrels. What are they called? Like towers? They're not even towers because they're not that tall. I don't know what they're called, but they look like big oil refinery containers or something. You see a bunch of them? So you got the wildlife refuge right next to all of that industrial zone, almost in a sense, right? I think that's industrial. You see them birds over there? Ducks. Let me say bye to my family. Peace out, y'all. Them ducks looked at me like I was crazy. They was like, what is that silly human talking about? Silly rabbit? Tricks are for kids. All right. I got a whole family over here about to enjoy themselves. That's cool. You guys are now on the World Wide Web forever, my friends. On a family outing, you see? It's a cool place to bring your family. If you have kids, if you have, you know, a significant other, come here. Come and take a walk through here. If you're into exercising and you're into walking, this is a beautiful place to walk. And you could take pictures for all you selfie lovers. Look at this. A lot of information boards. This is a lot, more or less for like, it comes in handy for the kids. Like the classrooms. You can come here with like a classroom of kids and they can sit here and have stuff to read. And like I said, I didn't take you guys on the inside. Yeah, look, you see? Classrooms of kids, you see? Environmental education. Yep, see that? And then look at the view right here next to the city. You see the skyline? Yeah, pretty cool, right? Really nice. Eastwick Trail. See right there? Eastwick Trail. And let me show you guys this little area right here where you would come in. You would, I guess, serve lunch. Yeah, this is where we used to serve the lunches, the snacks for the kids. Because, you know, you got to feed kids at least every 4 hours. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you guys for watching the video to this point. If you made it to the end, let me know in the comment section you made it to the end. As always, if you have any memories, any knowledge, any tips, any pointers you want to share, I'm fully open to constructive criticism. That's why I leave the comment section open. Feel free to engage with the video. When you comment in the video, you actually help this channel flourish, whether you leave a good or bad comment. So feel free, drop a comment in the comment section, hit that thumbs up button. If you can, share this video with a friend, with a family member. Post it on one of your social networks, whether you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Post it somewhere. Share the link, copy and text the link, send it to a friend via text message. You know, send it to them in an email. You know, share it with a friend so they can know what beauty we have here in Philadelphia, PA. With that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Have a good day. This is your boy, tuning out.